Good afternoon. My name is Corinne Goodwin, and I'm the Executive Director and founder of Eastern Pennsylvania Trans Equity Project. And we're here because we're talking about how to legally change your name in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This video is the fifth in a series of 6 videos where we are reviewing the process in detail. And in this session, we're going to be reviewing the process quickly on how to complete the name change and where we are in that process. We're going to talk about preparing and completing your court hearing with the judge, where you're going to get your legal name change affirmed under the law. And then we're going to talk about some of the next steps that you're going to take after your name change has been granted. As a reminder, this is an informational video. We are not giving specific legal advice. If you are looking for information particular to your situation, feel free to schedule a mentoring call with one of our mentors via our website, or reach out to an attorney. Additionally, this segment is specifically focused on the legal name change process in Pennsylvania. So if you were born in Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, Missouri, or Texas, you're going to need to check out information on the process in that state. So let's review where we are. We've already talked about fingerprinting and the process for completing that, along with how to complete the court forms for your filing with the court. We've talked about how to file your petition and the associated paperwork with the court system at your prothonotary's office at the county courthouse. And we talked about publication and how to get a waiver of publication, along with judgment searches. Now we're going to talk about attending your court hearing, and the next video will be focused on updating your identity documents. Remember, every county's process is a little bit different, so make sure you're finding the information for your county on the Eastern Pennsylvania Trans Equity website so that we can provide you more detailed assistance. You should have received in the mail a scheduling order. This tells you the date, time, and place of your final name change hearing. It might be issued at the courthouse upon filing, but more likely it has been mailed to your home. It is important to note that you must be on time for your court hearing. If for some reason you are unable to make your court hearing, you should call the courthouse well in advance and let them know that you're unable to make that hearing and that you're going to need to be rescheduled, because you cannot miss your hearing. So how do you get prepared for your final court hearing? Well, first off, you want to make sure that you have all of your judgment searches completed, one for every county where you have resided for the last 5 years. Make sure that you have a copy of the results of those judgment searches, and you have all of your paperwork highly organized. This should include your proof of publication or your order for waiver of publication. We recommend organizing all your paperwork in a small loose leaf notebook. This would include your petition, your motion for waiver and the ruling, proof of publication if you had to publish, proof of your judgment searches, your photocopy of your fingerprint card, and more. Anything that you have received from the court, you want to either have in that binder or in a folder, everything neat and organized, clipped separately or in divided pages so that you can refer to them during your court hearing if necessary, or provide them to the court if necessary. Remember, if you have completed all of the proper steps in our instructions on how to complete your name change in Pennsylvania, you are highly likely to succeed. Over 95% of our clients are successful in completing their legal name change. And typically, those who do not become successful, it is because they failed to complete a step at the time. So make sure you're following all instructions. If you're one of our mentees and we're mentoring you through the process, please stay in touch with us so that we can make sure that we are emailing you with hints and tips along the way. Okay, so it's the day of your name change petition hearing. We want to make sure that you're going to the courthouse early and that you are dressed appropriately. That means no tube tops, no ripped t-shirts, no cutoff shorts, no ripped jeans, no flip-flops. Dress like you were going to a job interview with a nice shirt, a nice pair of slacks, and good shoes. Make sure you get to the courthouse early so that you can find your courtroom where you've been assigned and settle in for your comfort. Have all of your paperwork with you, organized as we just discussed, and then check in with the court officer as you enter the courtroom. They're going to ask you why you were there, and you're going to say, because I'm here for the hearing of my legal name change petition. They'll ask you for your name. You're going to give them your current legal name, but you can ask them if they would please call you maybe by just your last name, so hopefully you don't hear your dead name called out in court. It's likely that hearings with attorneys will be handled before yours. However, when you are ready to be called, they will call your name and then you'll walk up and appear before the judge. You're going to be sworn in to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The judge may have all of the necessary paperwork on hand, but you can ask them if they need a copy of your petition or of the court order, and you can pull that out of your notebook and hand it over to them if needed. They may have some questions about your legal name change and why you're changing your name. Remember to answer all questions honestly and succinctly. Common questions are, why are you choosing to change your name? A great answer is, because I use the name Corinne Goodwin, in my case, on a day-to-day basis, and that is how my friends and family refer to me. Getting a legal name change will let me update all of my legal identification to reflect my chosen name. They might ask you how you chose your name. In my case, I chose the name Corinne because I had many people that I worked with over the years who were named Corinne, and I admired each one of these women. I chose this name to honor them. They might ask you if you have friends and family who are supporting you in getting your legal name change. If you brought friends or family with you to court, you can turn and point to them and say, yes, this is my mom or my dad or my sister or brother or spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend. The judge may even invite them to come up with you. Typically, there are not going to be many questions, though. Judges are typically most concerned about the paperwork. That is, have all of the judgment searches been completed? Has the criminal background check from the state police that you got fingerprinted for been returned to the court? And if you had to publish, did you publish in the newspaper, and are you able to provide the proof of publication to the court? If you didn't have to publish, they may ask you for a copy of the waiver of publication order. As long as you've got those things done, criminal background, judgment searches, and the waiver or publication, you are virtually guaranteed to get a positive outcome. The hearing in front of the judge, the actual hearing, usually takes less than 15 minutes. And in many cases, it may take less than 5. We know that you've done a lot of work and you've put a lot of time and effort into this. So make sure that you're savoring the moment. After the name change hearing is approved, after the order has been completed by the judge, they're either going to say petition approved or denied. Chances are approved. And then you're going to ask the judge one question, and that is, when will you be able to pick up your official copies of the court order? In most cases, it'll be later that day or the next day. And you're going to want to pick up 5 copies of that court order. So again, the hearing is usually very much pro forma. It's a minor event in terms of the judge, but for you, it's a big deal. And I hope that you take the time out to celebrate with your friends and your family, and with us afterward. Please let us know if you were successful. Now, I did mention the name change order. You're going to want to get at least 5 copies of the official order. Usually it's the afternoon of the day of your hearing or the next day. You need these official copies. They will have a raised seal on them because you're going to use them for updating all of your legal ID. And you'll pick them up from the prothonotari's office. There is typically a fee for these. Usually it's less than $10 for each copy. So you need to be prepared to have about $50 in either cash money or a credit card or a money order made out for the exact amount. You can ask the prothonotari's office how much the orders cost the day of your hearing. You're going to use these for updating your legal ID, including your driver's license or state ID, your social security card, your birth certificate, your passport, and potentially, if you're an immigrant, your immigration documents. Plus, you always want to have one official raised seal copy for your own personal records, and you're going to keep that in a safe place in your home where you keep the rest of your important documents. So congratulations, you now legally have a new name. And now the work begins because you need to update your name in all of the places where it exists. That includes your key identification documents, your work records, insurance records, bank records and credit cards, your car title, and on and on and on. The good news is we have a handy checklist that you can use to help you make sure that you don't miss anything. All you need to do is scan this QR code and then bookmark the site so that you can download it at your convenience. And it'll include the most important things first, like your driver's license and your social security account, but it'll also list things like your car title, your mortgage or your rent documents, your utilities accounts, and more. We'll make sure that we cover many of these in our next session. So remember, Eastern PA Trans Equity Project is here to help, and we've helped hundreds and hundreds of transgender Pennsylvanians successfully complete their legal name change. Our help includes free court forms that you can download from our website, step-by-step instructions that have been customized for your county of residence. You can schedule a mentoring call where we will walk through the process with you in some detail and answer your specific questions, as well as the opportunity to apply for financial assistance to help cover the cost of your legal name change. So in summary, if you've completed all the steps necessary for the name change, you are highly likely to succeed in your final hearing. You want to make sure that all of your paperwork is available and organized in case you need to access it during your court hearing. You should be prepared for some questions from the judge, but often there are none. The key is have you completed the judgment search, the criminal background check, and either published or have the waiver of publication available for the judge's inspection. If you've done those things, you will be successful, and we look forward to helping you with your name change. Our next and final video is going to be all about updating your legal identification, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you, and have a great day.